Hey everyone, as a bonus episode here on season 1 of Behind the Counter, we wanted to talk about hangovers. We were doing an episode about alcohol and a lot of, things come up as it relates to hangovers. It's a common topic. It's a hot topic too because everyone thinks they have their own perfect hangover cure. Mine, for example, is Taylor ham, egg, and cheese on an everything bagel, And John here, pharmacist, my father. How many New Year's in a row have you worked now?
Somehow it worked out that I used to draw New Year's as my holiday every year. So for the past, except for this past New Year's, which I spent in North Carolina with the hangover, actually, I worked almost every New Year's Day for the last 20 years.
And so, how often would you say on those New Year's days do you get asked, what is your cure for a hangover?
Almost every New Year's Day, somebody's like, "What is the remedy for the hangover? What's the perfect thing?" And some, people like have the certain amount of ibuprofen you take before you go to sleep, plus a certain volume of liquid, and other people have the Taylor ham and egg and cheese and some of these other things. To me, what
about Pedialyte? You hear that too, I guess.
Well, I think that the key there, the one valid point with Pedialyte, I think, is alcohol and things like that, you're going to get dehydrated a little bit. So I think hydrating yourself, so drinking extra water or drinking Pedialyte, which has electrolytes in it as well, I don't think that's going to hurt you. Is that going to stop you from getting a really bad hangover? It really depends on how much you drank to begin with. But at least I think from the standpoint of, okay, I'm going to not be as dehydrated, sure, I think that could help. And, if you have a headache, certainly sometimes something that usually take for a headache, like ibuprofen or Tylenol, may help as well. Like James, we were talking about in the other episode too. I think you have to be careful with taking things that are already affecting your liver, and then like things like Tylenol that affect your liver. Maybe that wouldn't be the first choice, but whatever works for a headache, I think it wouldn't be a bad idea too. But so hydration, I think.
Well, hydration, but you're saying something like Tylenol because of the way alcohol is already affecting your liver, taking something like that too is...
I personally don't recommend...
I would say not to take that. I would I would probably stick to the ibuprofen. Some people also think that things like with caffeine or something like that would help as well. But I'm not sure that there's any one... there's a lot of remedies. I've heard people came in and they told me there are different remedies and a certain amount of vitamin C and all these other kinds of stuff. And I think that when you have 15 or 20 drinks, you're going to have a hangover, and you're just going to have to take that bullet the next day because you had a great time the night before. So I don't think there's any foolproof remedy for hangovers, except I would say the one thing that's fairly legitimate is to keep hydrated. I think that's pretty good.
Absolutely. You have to endure
pay the piper, so to speak.
Right, exactly. And that's one thing. You just have to take some time and definitely drink that water to keep yourself hydrated. One thing I kind of go against, Taylor ham and cheese is honestly is fine the way I see it. There's no harm in that, but some people do actually. It's funny because I heard at one point some alcoholics, right? When this is obviously years and years and years ago, they actually, when they go to the hospital, right, because of alcohol withdrawal, they actually inject themselves.
The IV.
The IV. I've heard that's the rationale behind that is to slow down your liver from overworking and things like that. And again, of course, I definitely do not recommend drinking another shot in the morning.
Hair of the dog.
I heard that too, but then
that's one of the recommendations I always get. Get the Bloody Marys going. That's right.
There is some, mixed rationale behind it as well, but then, you just have to try to, suck it up, kind of, and then just hold it there, and then, drink the Pedialyte, water, whatever it is.
It's funny you say about the IVs because you see that in TV shows all the time too. If some, people on TV went out the next day, they're like, especially in the hospital shows.
Yeah.
Next day they're all hooked up.
They've probably got dehydrated. They may have been vomiting quite a bit, so they probably an IV and some fluids is not.
It's just vitamins, vitamins and the fluid.
Dextrose,
really
they probably do D5, right?
Yeah, sure. That's really all it is.
D5?
Dextrose is
sugar.
Just sugar.
Oh,
yeah.
Sugar water. I guess easier to put it.
Yeah, fair enough. So overall, your opinion is just there's not really a cure. It's never a bad idea to get electrolytes or be hydrated, but in general, hangover remedy is kind of a myth.
Don't try other things to make it worse. That's what I'm more afraid of. As I says, some people take a bunch of Tylenol, Excedrin and things like that actually make the overall situation worse. Or there are some people who eat something very spicy or something like that afterwards as a hangover cure. I don't recommend that either because you're probably going to throw that up as well.
Right. It'll hurt up here and down here.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
Both ways.
Well, thank you guys for your perspectives. And thank you guys for joining in this bonus episode this season of Behind the Counter, and we'll see you on the next episode.